So, back with a breakdown, midweek breakdown. We anticipated that we seen GU going to the downside, right? So we had a pullback up to the same resistance, right? We failed to break this high. Then we started making lower lows and lower highs, right? So we made a lower low, lower high, lower low, and now we're coming up to make a lower high, right? I could say I did have a position along these lower lows and lower highs. I was on the H1 time frame, so I seen the lower low and the lower high. I seen the lower low, and I did not zoom out to the H4 because I thought this was just going to be a continuation, right, to lower low until it came down here. It came down to a resistance, and then we had news occurring, right? So we had news occurring. We had CPI today, and I decided to exit the trade due to CPI. Good thing I did. You see, as you can see here, that we had a wick up that would have stopped me out the trade. And I was being greedy where price did come down. It did not hit my take profit, but it was close to it. But I still had an overall target of negative 61, negative 27%, which I was aiming for, right? But I can see if you go out to the H4 time frame, we can see these things now, right? Where we see this could be a supply demand zone, supply zone. So we could see this is a supply zone, right? And we got a rejection from this previous H4 candle and the current H4 candle. We're getting a rejection from it also at the moment, right? So if we go to H1, we see now we have a engulfing. So we had one candle that's about to close in 3 minutes. It's about to engulf this whole previous hour candle, right? If I could get this closed, I'm potentially gonna look for more sells, and I think I am gonna enter a sell if this candle does close below this previous candle and engulf it, right? Let's make this red. So I'm looking for a sell once it engulfs this candle, right? So that's the midweek update for GU, how GU is moving. Let's move on to, okay, before we move on, let's slap on a fib, right? So we have point A to point B. Price is currently at 61.8%. It's currently playing around 78 and it wicked 88.6, but those are just wicks. We're looking for body closures, and body close bullish on 61.8. And if we can get a bearish candle that can secure 61.8, we're looking good for a good rejection, right? We already have our TP1 marked off as negative 27%, and that's our target for now, right? So I will get rid of that, and I will move on to UJ. No, let's start at the top, US30, right? So on H4, this looks like nonsense. This is just corruption, consolidation, sloppiness. It's just garbageness going on here, right? So we have a resistance here that was being rejected. This created the resistance. It rejected 1, 2, and it broke it because this candle solidified the break. So we have bullish, doji, bullish, solidified the break, and then we have a retest. But this was all kind of news doing. The price, the market was moving sideways due to CPI coming up and due to Trump's speech yesterday, right? So we have a bunch of confusion going on where price did hit negative 27% for TP1. But I personally was not in this because of the confusion, because of the nonsense. And I'd rather be safe than sorry. So that is why I did not enter no positions on US30. Because look at this. This looks like nonsense. This is craziness. Who wants to trade this? Who's making money off of this? I mean, people are making money, but I just chose not to, Maybe if I was more experienced and, who knows? I'm just not making it. I'm just not taking those trades. Moving on to NAS, same kind of similar concept. Price hit price made a new high point, retraced to 61.8%, rejected 88.6 and 78.6. Then moving along to hit our take profit, which is negative 27%, after price created a new lower low, new higher low point right here. And that was clean. NAS kind of moves a little bit more cleaner than US30, and that's cool. And I could have took that trade. This wasn't too bad of a trade. But after I seen all this wick right here yesterday, I was like, the market is probably waiting for CPI to do something to react, to make a movement. So I didn't even pay attention to this high low point that was formed during London session at that 1 a.m. It's London session. I'm actually sleeping because I don't trade London session. So yeah, that's the reason why I missed that trade. This is what it is. Price did come down to wick our demand zone again and reject from it, but it looks like price is coming down more. So we never know what can happen. Let's check on GU. Okay, so GU did engulf, and I will be taking a trade right now. Let's see. And I am in the position. Stops will be above the high. And I will not set a take profit, but I do know my take profit will be negative 27%. But I'm not gonna set a take profit, because I want it to actually, maybe it might go past my take profit, who knows? You don't wanna cap yourself. You just wanna protect yourself for risk. You don't wanna cap it, right? So my entry is, let's see here. So I am in the trade. If you can see it, probably can't see it, but I am in the trade at let's see, do my inputs, 1.3545, 1.3454. Okay, so that's my entry. My stop loss is 5669. Sorry, Omar, I gotta call you back. Let me answer this first. And I will see how it plays out when it hits these lows. But my overall take profit will be negative 27%. Clean 1 in 5 trade. That's clean. So that is my position right now. Yep. As you can see, let's see if you can probably see it better. I'm currently negative right now, I guess because of spreads or whatever the case may be. So I'm currently negative, but I am in the trade. Okay, I just went into profit. Let's go. All right, so let's go back to the NASDAQ where we left off. Okay, so this is sloppiness. I don't want nothing to do with it. I can slap on support. This can be a little support zone right here. Okay, so that's the support right here, where this could be bearish, doji, bullish. It will still be tested, even though it wicked down craziness. But of course, this is US stock, ETF, whatever you want to call it. And we have PPI coming up tomorrow. So, straight news, we have CPI today. We had CPI today. We have PPI tomorrow, and then we have prelim on Friday. So yes, I will be staying away from that. Let's move on to gold. So we did have gold rejecting here coming up, closing this gap on the H4 time frame like we had anticipated here. So I can get rid of that. It closed the gap and it made a higher low point, and now it's just moving sideways. This is consolidation after a higher low point, right? So we can say that we're actually on the money. We having a lot of rejection from the upside, but we are maintaining this support level right here. So it is consolidating around this high point. It has not broken yet, even though we got this bullish candle, but it's still just consolidating. And it's really nothing to do here with gold. But we did get the rejection that we wanted and we anticipated. We did get a pullback. We got a high low point. This would have been a good entry somewhere along this right here. London session again. I was not trading London session, but it's just been consolidating ever since. You would have came back into drawdown one time last night at 7 p.m. and that's about it. But you know, we want to wait for movements to occur and then get in, which this can be labeled as a little high low point right here. Right, that can be labeled as a little high low point, and then we could just see what price wants to do here, right, from here on out. We already did GU, and now we can move on to UJ, where I updated my chart. So I made a resistance. I marked off this resistance here, right? Marked off this resistance. We got a high low point, and price is struggling around this resistance, right, where we want it to break and continue bullish, but we got rejection, right? So we could go on the H4 time frame, see how this looks on a bigger scale, where we really anticipated we wanted price to get back into this, not back, but we wanted to get into this zone right here, this consolidation zone on H1, which we can say is a demand zone. But let's go to H4 and let's slap on this fib, point A to point B. Body kind of close on H4 here, I guess. You don't know. Yeah, we can say that. And this was a high low point, and price just has been ugly after that. But of course, because the news is occurring, we already have our negative 27% marked off, so we can get rid of this fib. And we can just wait to see what price does around this area right here. If it can give us another high low point around here, then we can look for entries. But keep in mind that we do have news occurring. And speaking of that, let's see what's going on here. Okay, so we're getting the rejection that we anticipated, that we're looking for. So that's good. Let's move on to AU, where we did anticipate that we was gonna get a rejection from this resistance. And we are getting this rejection from this resistance here. We did not get a high low point, but we are getting rejection where we anticipated a high low point. We did not get a high low point, and I marked off that price did fail to break the resistance because we have a lot of wick rejection to the upside to support our claim. So we can make a resistance zone here. I mean a support zone. So we have a support zone here, and we can anticipate price breaking this support and then retracing to then create a lower high point, and then we can look for sells. So we can get rid of this support here. Yep. Yeah, I want to use the zones more to give it more of a cleaner look. I don't know why I aim for such a clean chart. It's like a pet peeve of mine. But yeah, so price is in the zone. We want to see price break out of this zone. This is the zones is not good for me to trade. So yeah, yeah. So we're looking for price to break the zone and potentially, you know, break, retest, whether it's maybe retest even more. But this is what ideally we will be looking for. And the MAs is actually catching up to the market, so it can possibly break, right? That's really about it right now. We went over everything. This is just a update to see how price and how these charts are moving and how they're playing out to our analysis. And that's about it. Yeah. Let's go to GU. Since we are in this position, we took this trade on the H1 time frame, and we can save our chart here, and let's see how this plays out. Oh yeah, marked off that. Okay. And yeah, that's about it. So like I said, thank you guys for rocking with me. Thank you guys for just supporting supporting the wave, supporting the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will leave a broker link in the bio. My description. I will leave a link of my socials. Follow me on Instagram, Mr. Bush Trades, TikTok. On my socials. I will leave a link of my link tree down below. My broker was kind of they had like something going on in the back end of the website, but I think everything should be up and running now. And I will be more active in the live trading session with my friend Omar, like I said, and I will keep you guys updated with that. But I'm trying to get involved with it more. This week have a lot of news, but maybe I could see. I've been on the live sessions, but I haven't taken any trades with them, with the group. But they look like they've been killing it. Not that they look like, they have been killing it. And you guys should definitely tap in. And that's about it, man. We're out.